My name is Gage Fox, and this is my broken, not dead story.
I'm broken, not dead.
I guess a good place to start would be when I was younger, and I always grew up in church with my mom and dad, and they always laid that good foundation for me. In 2016, when I was 13 years old, my father was murdered, and a couple weeks later, it was found out to be my mother's fault due to a sex affair. And that hit me really hard and did a lot of stuff to my mind that I just didn't know how to handle. And I lost so much in such a short span of time. It just threw me off the rails, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to talk to or even who to trust at that point, because the two people that I'd always trusted were essentially gone. My mom was sentenced to life in prison, and my dad was dead, so I didn't know what to do. I would say maybe like the third week, possibly after it happened, kind of after all the shock kind of came through with what happened, and then my mom being arrested, kind of after all that wave of emotion had passed, it brought upon this new feeling of just like why would this happen? It's like, because I always thought as my mom as a good person that nothing was going on. It's like I always knew my dad was good, and he was a youth minister and college age teacher. So I just didn't understand. And being so young, it was like, even though he joked that he was old, he was only 40, and that was young for them. It was young for us, because my littlest sister was, I think, 9 at the time. And I just didn't understand why, because it was such a influential age for me and my older sister, who was, I think, 17 at the time. It was such an influential age, and that's when we needed our parents the most, and now we couldn't have that. There was nothing we could do. So there was multiple times where I just screamed, why? And it would be in my room, or if I had, maybe went somewhere and just thought about it, or just going outside and sitting somewhere and just asking why things happened. It was like, these are good people that didn't, or what I thought had been good people, and I didn't understand why they would need to go. It was like they had so much to do. And eventually that all went away once I started to understand, but there were definitely times when I was angry. And in that time, I just went back to my roots and remembered everything that my dad taught me about how Jesus is full of love and compassion, and just, he's such a great father. And I just clung on to that with everything that I had. And I started reading my Bible as much as I could, and reading as much as I could, and just wanting to learn more and more about God. And through that, I gained so much knowledge and so much faith in him, and it pretty much pieced every inch of my life back together. I did forgive my mom. It was kind of the first step in me gaining a more clear conscience. It took a while, but I knew that if I wanted to actually solve the problems that were going on with me and between me and my mom, that there had to be forgiveness. And that if I could have all this sin piled on top of me and God forgive me, then why couldn't I forgive her? It comes up every once in a while. Sometimes it's, for a couple minutes or a couple hours, and sometimes it's for days. But I always fall back to my roots again and just know that it's okay. And it's okay to have those bad days. Everyone has them. But there's also a love that's there, and it's eternal love. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It honestly gave me a goal for my life to just give people that same peace and to teach people about that same peace that God brings to them. That even if, you go through hard times and things that mess you up in all kinds of ways, that there is something there. That there is things to learn, and there are things that can make you happy again. That it's okay. Like, yes, it hurts, but it'll be okay in the end. And the Father does love you, and He does give you peace. Honestly, I'm so fulfilled with that. I'm so happy to see that everywhere I go, and I can't wait to give that to more people. When I had all that pain through me, I didn't think I could make it through. I never really thought I would. Honestly, I did think about killing myself sometimes just because I couldn't handle the pain. There was so much in me, I didn't want to have it anymore. I didn't want to feel it anymore. I wanted to be home. And I started living with my grandparents, and there were so many times where I just came home and I wanted to hug my dad and just tell him that I loved him, and tell him how much I missed him, and tell him about my day, and tell him how good I was doing in football. And there just wasn't that, and there wasn't even my mom to come home to and tell her about, the crush on a girl I might have or anything like that. It was all gone. But I found Jesus, and everything was made okay again. And even though my life was ripped away from me and torn apart, I knew it was part of a greater plan for me to learn my calling in life. And I couldn't ask for anything else. I know it's hard, and I do understand your pain. I know that a lot of people say it because a lot of people still say it to me. But I do understand. And it's okay to have those hard times. Take those days. Let them be hard. But don't let them get you down forever. There is a light that is there, and it will always shine, and it will always be there. And the Father does love you. He will hold you in those times of need. All you have to do is just call on His name.